If you are running a small company, chances are you are also the human resources or HR department. You're recruiting, interviewing, hiring, onboarding, handling the paperwork, resolving employee issues, and trying to grow your business, all while making sure today's jobs get done. It can feel like a full-time position on top of your full-time position. In today's conversation, we're diving into practical hiring strategies for small and medium-sized companies that don't have the luxury of a dedicated HR team. And to do this, it's my pleasure to welcome Wells Yee to the program. Wells, glad to have you.
Yeah, awesome to be here monthly one more time. Thank you again. Yeah.
You know, the HR can send shivers down some people's spines, but it's a necessary department. And business owners with big companies, they know what they have there. They rely on them to do all we're going to talk about today. But, well, let's talk about this. Most small companies don't have that HR department. They have an owner wearing 10 different hats. What are the biggest hiring mistakes you see busy owners making, and what can they do?
Indeed, Jeff, that when I started my cleaning company 17 years ago, one of the 10 titles is janitor of the office. So, indeed, so one challenge I feel, number one, will be, are we accepting the status quo? Very high turnover, average based on certain data, 300% in the commercial cleaning space. Are we going to accept that? Or we said that we can do a lot better. So that would be number one. If I'm a small business owner, I would say, no, I don't want to accept that. We can do a lot better. Number one. Number two will be very conscientious about the cost of not building our business, but being overwhelmed by recruiting. So I remember in certain time of my cleaning company management career, I spend half of my time, 15 hours, 20 hours per week to deal with recruiting. That seems I'm saving money for my company because I'm small. But on the other side, later on, when I look back, I realized that when I was overwhelmed with recruiting, the real cost is what I wasn't doing for my business, marketing, sales, management. And so I think these are the two things that stand out to me especially you are a small, relatively smaller size and dealing with recruiting.
We know that when there's a need to hire someone, it can be like, we need to do it now. So when you're trying to fill positions quickly, how do you balance speed with making good hiring decisions, thinking about our smaller companies today?
So I would like to say that I want to have both. I know that maybe this is not, the status, not the current situation, but we should have that goal that our system, our recruiting system, allow us to hire fast and hire with a very good result. So that's the final thing we should strive for, nothing less. In the meantime, I also know that many of us, a lot of companies may not be in that state. Then what should we do? I would say that we need to benchmark. We need to see how we do right now to figure out the root cause so that we don't have to be forced by this choice of either or. We want to have both. But in order to have both, you have to know how your current system are working. Are they delivering good result? And why? What's the root cause of what happened? I think that's my attention to. I would put my time to investigate. And then, therefore, after I overcome these two critical questions, how am I doing today? What are the root cause of causing what my performance today? Then I don't have to make that choice between either or.
So we all know that employee turnover is expensive. You get a good person, train them, they find something else. What are some practical things small businesses can do during the hiring and onboarding process that will help improve retention, greatly improve retention?
So as I said, the first thing we want to do is benchmark. Is my system working? So one number I can share with you will be like when I see, we have lots of clients. The first thing what I would like to ask is to get the data about is the first 60 days turnover. That means that how many people are hired lasted passing 60 days. If that number is commonly more than 50%, that's way too high. That's indicating that our recruiting system is not working. So therefore, I would like to see less than 30%, ideally less than 25%. So number one, that's what I want to see. Then I would like to really look at the job design because that's often the source of many problems. Is that what is our pay? We actually offer a free scorecard for anybody who are interested on employjoy.ai website. Just fill your information. We provide that benchmark for you free. So because it's so important, right? So we want to benchmark our pay, our benefit, our other offers to against our schedule, against our competition to see where we are. Because if we are not competitive, it's a real issue. Then if I did this, both of these things, benchmark and look at the job, if we still have some problems, we are still not delivering, it's still too long or too much turnover in the first 60 days, then I would really have to look at, as a relatively smaller company, look at alternatives, how I overcome this. So one way is to, what I call it is to, let me share the screen here. What we call it is done by you. The other one, we continue to try to do this by ourselves. We try to figure that out. Then we need to outreach to some potential expert and try to figure out what happened. Another one is done for you. This option often being ignored by many cleaning companies, right? So here I want to do a comparison about that. Done by you, of course, is going to take a lot of your time, effort, and so on. You have 10 hats already, right? There's a cost of that. That is what you didn't do when you are overwhelmed by recruiting, right? But when you done for you is that provider give you 2 to 3 pre-screened, highly qualified people for you to make a final decision. You may do one more interview. There are lots of interview recording for you already screened by a very detailed process. So financially, we know it's, when you do by yourself, you don't see the so-called cost. Okay. On the other side, you may be more visible, but the actual cost of you are now building your business is actually pretty big. So we need to do the real math, not the superficial math. Then we want to see what the cost of a bad hire. It's very expensive. $2,400 direct cost, $14,000 in our calculation for fully loaded cost, right? But here, what the cost of having one hire from the provider? We should do this comparison. Then the judgment is still yours. You still decide. Usually, you still decide on the final who to hire. The provider just gave you highly vetted candidates, right? So what that means is that when you are busy and away, hiring never stop, right? In this case, here, hiring stops because it's done by you. If you stop, it stops. But when you do done for you, okay, then hiring just keep running, support your growth. In this math, the biggest problem is that we need to see what is the return on investment for such a thing. So therefore, I would say that we did a quick calculation about ROI to calculate what the cost, just the direct cost if you hire them. We believe is a minimum about $4,500 have one hire. This is including all the advertising cost, recruiters' time, potential damage if you are bad hire damage to. That's the biggest one. That's the 3,300 damage on your reputation, on the quality, on client satisfaction. Okay, total cost. But done for you is usually, you can look at different providers. We look at usually $1,600 by average cost, even guaranteed. If it's failed within 60 days, provide a free warranty, give you another free another effort to do that. And then, so you pay once you hire. Okay. So the candidate who falls through never costs you twice. You still pay one, get a qualified hire. So therefore, if we see that sometimes if you run, assuming these numbers are correct, then you get an ROI literally about 180%, while you can utilize the valuable time. Just remove this one hat from your 10 hats here, okay, then you can build your business faster, grow sales, marketing, and then so the math can be very, very appealing for a small company. So that will be another possibility here. One, you benchmarked, okay, after you really review your design, if you still have challenges, really consider the possibility of outsourcing, and it can be a lifesaver, can be a major boost for your growth.
It's a great option to have. Do it yourself, which is our main focus today. But many business owners, those 10 hats become too much. So outsourcing it sounds like a good option. Thank you for sharing that, Wells.
Yeah.
I do want to talk one more main question about compliance, because when you're interviewing, hiring, bringing people on, and you don't have HR training, there have to be some legal or documentation issues that have to be addressed. So, what would those be if there are any?
So first, here we need expert support, but we don't have to have full time, right? We have a good consultant to go through some really important things that because this is a specialty, the regulation changes sometimes with the AI laws month by month, right? But so therefore that's first one. We need expert support, sort of down for you that type of support. Okay, but immediately the biggest thing right now standing out will be three areas. Number one will be the I-9 process. Basically is work eligibility. So I-9 process audit, we need to be all on this very clear because ICE is very aggressive, continue to be very aggressive to attack on this, especially for cleaning companies, and especially if you are located in blue state. Then the next one will be an old one that is classification, local extras, contract versus employee, local minimum wage change are rapidly changing. Chicago, for example, literally every year. Okay, so we need to be on top of that. Finally, I would say the emerging AI rules. So if we need to use AI, the applicants are using AI. We must use AI in our recruiting process. However, the legal framework is no longer just disclosure. It's about notice. It's about the discrimination testing. It's about documentation. It's about human intervention. Allow human to intervene, to appeal, to review, human review, and finally vendor accountability. So if you use any of these tools, the vendor need to be accountable to make sure that the tools comply with the newest and highly kind of emerging AI laws.
Wells, I'm out of questions. Any final words of advice you'd like to close with?
I feel that the most important, I would like to talk to the smaller or middle-sized cleaning companies that the status quo is not necessarily have to be. So we can do better through different ways, through your own audit, your own development, your own with the help of specialists, sometimes even outsourcing to overcome this very challenging issue.